few months ago, we made a video on Life is Strange 2, basically going into some aspects as to how we believe it's lacking that pace and character development, and we were kind of vocal in saying that episode 1 and 2 hasn't provided anything solid regarding the game, and we also said that it's not up to that level as the previous game. Yet, it was poorly executed information, and the like to dislike ratio made it quite clear. However, after playing episode 3 and having this type of reaction, and spoilers alert,
another choice. I'm gonna have another choice. I'm gonna have another choice. This is the best game of all time. Life is Strange Season 1, get aside. I have a new and improved Life is Strange 2 Episode 3. Best game of all time. Don't tell me this ain't fire. Don't tell me this ain't heat.
Yeah. I guess you get the point now. I said countless times that episode 3 has to be game changer. I also said a new character, Cassidy. We believed that she will be the game changer. She has to be. And guess what? It wasn't just a game changer. It was beyond that. It exceeded my expectations. So I'm gonna say it out here. Whatever I'm gonna say in this video is all my opinions and thoughts. So feel free to share yours down in the comments. Here's my take on why Episode 3 was the best episode thus far, and episode 4 will be even better. We have to understand that one of the main problems I had with the game thus far before episode 3 was pacing. Everything felt so out of touch, very slow, and main character Sean felt flat. Even though he's the main character and he's going through the worst time of his life, not only as a running fugitive, not only losing his dad, his half family, his home, friends, but alongside him is his brother that he needs to take care of, that unfortunately is just a kid and doesn't understand the whole situation. And to add more stuff to it, he's got powers. Daniel, not us. So to play as that kind of character, being vulnerable all the time, since you never know, it was hard to execute this sort of character in the first place anyway, and it didn't click for me in the first 2 episodes until the 3rd one. Not that it wasn't done right, it was just me. When we saw Cassidy in the trailer for the first time, I instantly got a feeling that there is something there, something big, and one of the main reasons I still kept liking this season thus far. I have to remind you all, Life is Strange, just Life is Strange franchise, is by far my favorite franchise in general. The first game was really something special, not just for me as a player, but also on so many different levels. I believed that Life is Strange was my favorite game of all time, and nothing can top it until now. Episode 3 of this season really sets up everything for me, everything I needed and everything it gave me that I didn't even know I would enjoy and I would need. Pacing, development, it felt like everything I have criticized them for, they nailed every part of it. It felt like they took community's critics and reviews really well, and they really changed the direction. And that's the thing, it doesn't seem like there was much change from previous episodes, but small tweaks really made it stand out. Alright, let's go through it. Let's see some of the things that makes this episode the best of all time. Number 1, pacing. I think that's the first thing we hit on last time. How to start, how to make an impression, having a hook, keeping that hook, adding twists in the middle to keep it going, and finally paying it all off with a good ending. That's what I need from any story-based game. Nothing more, nothing less. Episode 3 did it perfectly. They started by throwing us back in the past, 3 months before the actual incident, and it wasn't just a random flashback either. Usually you would get flashbacks that most of the time doesn't serve anything. This, however, was important as it showed the relationship of Sean and Daniel when they were innocent, being free, careless, not having to worry about anything. And to add more to it, it also showed their relationship with their dad, how their dad was holding up everything. Both these brothers and entire time in general without moms, how they were doing. When Sean and Daniel got into brother fight as always, and when dad found out about it, instead of making things go insane, he actually de-escalated the situation by talking to Sean in a way that a teen would understand. That's one of many things to take away from that flashback. Sean gets back to Daniel Daniel, and oh my god, when Daniel said that he just wants to spend time with his brother, that honestly some of the emotional, if not the emotional thing I've ever heard in a video game. Because personally, brotherhood, brother relationship, family relationship, teenagers learning and growing faster than usual is something that resonates with me, and it breaks me from inside because it's something I agree and relate to on a very personal level. But going back to the original point, Daniel reminded Sean that he promised to buy him a watch, and then he forgot. That watch that Sean gave him that day, 3 months before the incident, was actually the transition back into the real world, just to show how things have changed massively, drastically. Sean and Daniel are getting apart as time goes on, and there's very little that you can actually do about it. From showing the importance of spending time with brothers and family, to fitting in new place and making connection with other people, to working. Everything was so perfectly timed, nothing felt forced or pressured or boring. Even Weed Farm part was interesting because I got to learn the relationship between Cassidy and Hannah. I also learned what these people have to go through just to earn and survive and keep going. But most importantly, I learned how Sean and Daniel are doing out here in this new place, and what's their job and relationship with the boss. Everything was perfect, and that is why I don't think anyone can replicate the pacing of this episode. They can do better or they can do worse, but they can't replicate this part. Having to see all that pay off in a very amazing ending makes this whole experience worth it, and I can't stop talking good things about it. Number 2, character development. I criticized the game for having very less characters, and then those characters having little to no development. Well, Don't Nod was like, here, take all the development in the world. Not only we have more characters, but each character was written in a sense that you would remember somewhat from your real life, and you would go on, hey, I know a guy just like him, or I know a girl just like her. Each character represents real world personalities. Unlike characters from season 1, I think the approach in this season worked out quite well. I'm seeing a lot of people complaining for this part specifically, but for me, I'm fine with each character and how they were presented. Not only I got to learn about them, I got so connected with them. I felt that, hey, they're doing what we're all doing out here. And when you learn things from their perspective, it just makes it less video game-ish. Yeah, sure, there were some lines that I've never seen a person use in real conversation, but for the most part, it's there. Like when Hannah and Ingrid alongside Andros were talking to each other, and you joined their conversation, instead of interrupting them as a normal game would do, you would smoothly join in on their conversation, just like any normal conversation in real world, regardless of which sentence they were in. When you joined, you would join that part of conversation, and I like that part. More of these, please. Characters such as Hannah, Penny, and Jacob, while other visitors like us, such as Ingrid and Andros, really shows you different sides of how to perceive this world and how things go around here, while Cassidy and Finn would give you that support that you need out there, support that is necessary out there. Heck, game even give you the choice to continue a little bit more of your relationship with either, since you've spent enough time with them to know who and what. Hence, you can start a relationship with either Finn or Cassidy. Other characters, such as Meryl, was probably the most interesting non-group character. A person or boss who understands our situation and expects the same, who just wants job to be done and nothing more, nothing less. I loved the fact that when he had some problems with Daniel, he discussed it with us privately. I hope he's alive because he just makes things so darn good. The only bummer of a character that kind of felt flat was Big Joe. You could do something with him, but he's also that guy who just wants job to be done so he can get the heck out of here. But either way, characters and their development were really something in this episode. Nothing felt forced and nothing felt out of the box. And number 3, Sean. This is just a mashup of everything that's done perfectly or correctly. I criticized Sean hard for being flat, but in this episode you can really see his struggle, how he's trying to keep it cool, trying to keep everything together, but nothing's working out for him. He's trying to be there for his brother, trying to protect him at all costs, but his brother is not understanding that part, and understandably why. On the other hand, he's trying to get together with the group and trying to fit in with different situations, places, and people. He's also making a low profile while also making his boss impressed with his hard work and passion. And just a side note, he looks hot in that here. I need that. Anyways, you can see Sean and Daniel getting apart emotionally as Daniel sees Sean spending more time and prioritizing Cassidy over his brother, while the attention that Daniel needs has been filled or been filling by Finn, which to some extent is alright, but you can really feel it physically, his struggle, pain, emotional pain that he's going through all this, and all while being only 17. And keeping in mind that Daniel got powers and that they're running fugitives and that Daniel won't stop talking about their mother, the emotional connection is there. I personally feel like, and I could be wrong, that people who've been through ups and downs of brotherhood relationships while having a weak home, weak as in weak relationship and ties and family, can really grasp this game as a true execution of their emotions and their lives that they're going through and dealing with. That is one of many reasons I personally loved episode 3, and that is one of many reasons why Life is Strange 2 has become my favorite game of all time. I'm the young one in the house, but that does not mean I don't understand the struggle of a big brother. I think the timing of this game, as I'm also having family, brotherhood, relationship, and parent issues, the timing for all this when this dropped made me not only like and love this game, but also a source of executing my emotions and feelings of what I'm going through in my life as well. That is why I was so emotional when I was playing this game. I can already see most of my life in there, in Sean, in Daniel, and this is why I believe, and I strongly believe, that just like episode 3 went beyond our expectations and set new limits and raised the bar for how I perceive and consume a video game and its story, I also believe episode 4 will introduce new ways to look at that, new ways of telling the same story but in different ways, new ways to attach to our emotional level. And I don't need no shoot 'em ups, I don't need no Fortnite cringe dance. All I need is a good story that I can grasp onto, something that I can relate on a personal level, or if not, at least learn from it and execute it later in my life. That's what I look in video games. But that was just me and my opinions, thoughts, reviews. Make sure to let me know yours down in the comments. And can we get to 15,000 subscribers please, so I can start facecam videos and let's play. Episode 4th playthrough will be with facecam, you bet. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and join our Discord server, link in description, and I'll see you soon. Until then, take care and peace.